obtained from independent sources outside the entity rather than an inside information. It is more reliable that it is provided by some external source. And a documentary form is more reliable than what is obtained orally. Yes, original documents are more reliable than the duplicate ones. Yes, and the audit evidence which are obtained directly by the auditor is more reliable than the evidence which is obtained indirectly through the management or something. Yes, yes. Now, in this chapter, we have yet another person who comes into our picture. He is the management expert. Management expert is an individual or maybe an organization also who is possessing expertise in a field other than accounting and auditing. Who is he? He is an individual or organization possessing expertise in the field of other than accounting and audit and whose work is used by the entity in preparing the financial statements. Okay, the management actually uses the works of the expert. So, as an auditor, we should not just completely rely, okay, he's an independent expert, so we should completely rely on no. No, there is no such thing. We should actually evaluate how the work of the management expert is. So we have few points, yeah, and it forms part of our audit responsibility. Okay, so auditor's responsibility. First thing is we have to evaluate the competence, capabilities, and objectivity of that expert. What is that? COO. Competence, capabilities, and objectivity. Okay, so this CCO, not COO, CCO. So, for evaluating his all these capability, competence, and all, first thing we will have a discussion with the expert so that we can understand what is his overall idea about. Yeah, and maybe we can take a reference from some other person who is familiar with this person's work. Hmm? Maybe we itself are having a previous experience with the same expert and knowledge about his qualifications, the maybe he is part of some other professional body, knowledge about that thing. Is he if he have published some papers or books or something, knowledge about that. Yeah, this is all about like understanding his background. Hmm? Yes. Now, to evaluate his objectivity, sometimes we understand that even though he is expert, he is having possessing necessary qualification, all those things. Still, regarding to with respect to this particular entity, sometimes his objectivity may be compromised due to existence of some threats. Okay, so we know that self-interest threats, self-review threats, maybe intimidation threats, advocacy threats, all those things are coming into picture. Yes, for removing the threats, we can't do this 100%. Yes, of course, we have safeguards by means of various legislations, by means of implementing quality control policies in the entity and all. We do have some safeguards, but we can't ensure a 10% removal of these threats, especially in case of intimidation threats and so. There can be a possibility of that thing also. Okay, so while evaluating his audit procedures, it should be we'll be discussing with the management and the expert also, like if they do have any relationships that can possess a threat and all, we should understand that thing, and what are the applicable safeguard also we should understand. Sometimes that can be a financial interest, that particular audit expert he or the management expert, he's having some shares in that particular company. Yes, maybe business and personal relationship, he's a close relative of the director of the company, and many other services also. Yes, yeah. Now, understanding the work of an expert, first of all we have to evaluate whether the assumptions and methods used by that particular expert, whether that is generally accepted in their industry, in that expert's field, whether the assumptions he is taking, whether that is generally accepted, and whether that is appropriate for the financial reporting purpose of our entity. Okay, what was the assumptions and methods used by the management experts, whether they are generally accepted in the expert's field, and whether that is appropriate in the financial reporting purpose. Yes. Now we should see other aspects also. What are the other aspects? Experts will be having some findings. So these findings or conclusions and all, we should see the relevance and reasonableness of this thing, consistency of this evidence with the other evidences, whether they are properly reflected in the financial statements. Yes, and as we said earlier, the assumptions and methods used, even the relevance and reasonableness of those assumptions and methods, and also the source data, about the source data, because experts will be doing all these things on basis of some data. So we should see the reliability of that source data also. Yes, fine. Now, using the management expert, we are doing some work, and let's see what are the matters that is affecting the nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures if we are using the management expert's work. What is it? Nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures. What is the matters, factors affecting these factors if we are using management expert's work? First thing, the nature and complexity of the matter, because he's a management expert. He doesn't have an expertise in the accounts and auditing field. Yes, we are calling him just because we are not much knowledgeable in that particular field. So we should see the nature, hmm, and the complexity of the matter involved, risk of material assessment, material misstatements that is involved in that matter. Hmm. If there is any alternate method to get this data apart from using this expert data, any other alternate source of getting audit evidence, and the management experts nature, scope, and objectives in the particular work. Okay, whether this person is employed by the entity or just partly engaged, hmm, and the extent to which management can exercise control or influence that experts work, that is very important with respect to the intimidation threat also. Yes, and nature and extent of controls within the entity over that management's work, management experts work. Then the auditor's knowledge and expertise. In order to evaluate his work, we should be having sufficient knowledge and expertise whether he's doing properly. In order to evaluate that, we should be having possessing sufficient knowledge and experience. Yes, so we should be looking on to that, and maybe the previous work of experts also help us in this. Yes, so that was all about SA 500.